Welcome into the Eric St. Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. This is the warm-up period where my voice is still a problem, and it's going to take, it's like an old car. You start it up, and then it's like, That's the way I am right now. That's why I sound the way I do. I don't feel all that great, but it could be worse. The worst was on Wednesday. That was, oh, my God, it just felt so out of sorts. I was just messed up. I was extremely, extremely messy. But, yeah, we're good. Okay. As David Hasselhoff once said, this show happens in the Impact Power Sports studio. Thank you so much. If you ever want to say hello and reach out to me, you can drop me a line on the, Shoreliner Striping inbox, Eric at ericzaneshow.com. See, Stacy is here. Welcome to you. Amy is here. Stevie, Tyler the Joke Man, Rebecca. There's a Rebecca, and then there's a Becky. I know Rebecca. I think I know Becky. All right. Should be a decent weekend. I'm to a point now on the weekends where I'm so involved in the sports broadcasting, the PA work, close to home here. We've got a hockey game tonight. By the way, today is first day of Women's History Month. So all of you historic women, this is for you. Tomorrow, okay, hockey Friday. Saturday, I've got two damn hockey games. The first one is the one that everybody wants to see. The fire department taking on the police department in hockey. Last year, this was a slaughter. I think the cops beat the shit out of the firemen. I don't know. There were ladies playing in the game. A couple people dropped the gloves. They've had it with each other. That game goes on again tomorrow at about 12:30. And then after that, I go home for a little bit and then back to the rink for another damn game, the Griffins. And then Sunday, it's gold basketball. Oh, my God. Sunday is also a big fraud Sunday with EZ and Ben Glaze, who is with us now. We are excited to get after a big fraud Sunday, starting with who are these Zanes? I think Ben has enough material. I know I do. And then that starts at 11 a.m. Eastern time. That live stream will kick off then. And then that'll go for about 45 minutes or so. And then right after that, we will start the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Another great adventure that will be. You can take part in that for free. All you have to do is sign up on Patreon for 7 days free. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. I don't know what's getting in, what's in the water here, but I've started to, I'm sure this is temporary, attempt to repair things that are busted around this house. And there's a lot. When the legendary engineer extraordinaire, he's got a doctorate's degree in being a radio engineer, Dave Grant, came to the studio to get the lay of the land about getting my radio show up and running, which debuts March 18th. He came to the door. He texts me. He says, I'm at the door. Dave's like really kind of subdued. I'm at the door. I go walking over there, and he's looking at where the doorbell is. But there's no doorbell there. There's like two wires. And he goes, that's good. And I can tell I'm getting judged. I'm like, yeah, I know. He gets in here, checks things out. He's sitting where I am right now. And at some point, he turns around and looks behind me at the door. And he goes, Did you have to kick your door in? Because it's all fucked up. I go, yeah, yep. He goes, Were you drunk? I go, No, I don't drink, Dave. Are you kidding me? I haven't drank since 1996. Oh. What happened? I go, I don't know. The damn thing locked. Dogs were in here. It was a minute before the show started. And I had to get in here, so whammo. So he thinks I'm a loser. So yesterday, went ahead, got the replacement doorbell, like the button you push, and it turns out that the actual doorbell in the house was no good. So I replaced it. Now, it still looks pretty, because he said to me, I sent him a picture of the button. I go, Hey, I did it. And he says, Yeah, that was looking pretty ghetto. But I don't know how much. All right, if you go in the house, when I took the old actual doorbell off, the one that's in the house, you push the button and it goes ding dong. Well, the room had been painted, and so what was underneath the doorbell hadn't. So then you put the new doorbell on, and it's not the same shape. So there's still like two colors of paint visible now. What the rest of the room is and whatever the hell was underneath the doorbell. Primer, I don't know. Cole says, Did you show him the hot tub? I'm going to make sure that I don't point out the doorbell to him, because he'll be like, Look, even though you replaced it, it's still ghetto. All right. Then there's, I had to do some work on the alarm. We got this alarm system here, and the alarm has been telling me that it doesn't tell you anything. What it does is it wakes you up in the middle of the night. And that's awful. Okay? And I don't know why it malfunctions in the middle of the night, because it's all fucked up. And so then it should just say, low batteries, but it doesn't do that. It just says nothing. I'm just going to wake you up. So I call the alarm company. Actually, I did it. You can't call, Excuse me. You can't call. You have to go and chat. Now, you're chatting with the robot. And then you have to click that you want to talk to a live agent. So finally, when someone is typing directions to you, I start out with, Hey, alarm is malfunctioning. Can you send an agent or a person to come? They go, Well, before we do that, we want to try to see if you can troubleshoot it. This is how they do it. They're giving you the power. And I'm like, God damn it. I don't want to do this shit. Okay, you hit *2 and then you scroll through. So amazingly, I'm looking at the phone and they're talking with me. They go, All right, hit this button and then this button. What do you see? And I explain it. He goes, Okay, that's good. Hit this button and this button. What do you see? Okay, this. All right, great. He goes, The batteries need to be replaced on the pad. And I'm like, Okay, cool. But why couldn't it have just said that? Instead of waking me up in the middle of the goddamn night. Okay? Then I can't get the fucking thing off. I send a picture to my brother-in-law, Charity Scam Mike. I go, How do I get this fucking thing out? Because this is his line of work, installing alarms. He tells me, I go, All right, great. Get after it. I'm able to get the goddamn pad off. And, okay, I thought at the worst I'd have a couple of these lithium batteries, the ones that I think you're not supposed to throw those in the garbage. Lithium batteries, like the old ones, like they explode. I threw it in the garbage. But not only are they lithium batteries, but it's like 6 lithium batteries in a pack. They're like wrapped in a plastic pack. It looks like the type of shit you wrap a boat in when it's winter. With like a wire coming out of it. It's like a huge cell. You could drive a car with that fucking thing. All right. I get the needle nose pliers, pull that thing out. I've got it. I've broken nothing. So this is a win. I'm like, this is great. Go on Amazon, get the exact same thing, order it. I wish this story had some type of catastrophic ending, but it doesn't. My point in all this is that I was doing shit, and I don't know where the time came from, frankly. Stand by. I am still a absolute mess right now, by the way. Also, I bought the parts to repair the door. Now, this is where I am way out of my element. This requires, like, getting my jigsaw and cutting the fucking door jamb, because the door jamb's all busted out. It's either repair it, like the way I'm going to, or buy a new door and then have someone install it for me. And I'm like, fuck this shit. I am going to do this. I am going to get this done. So that's part of the goal. Megan says, what the F is this anniversary thing? She's new to some of the accolades you get on Twitch. It says you've subscribed to the show for 24 months, and you're on a 4-month streak. That's good. Welcome. Kenny, like a child, announces, hey, it's first day of my birthday month. What? Ben wrote, okay, good for you, LOL. That's a polite way of saying, who gives a shit? Birthday month, Kenny? I mean, come on. You're like a 65-year-old guy. Pooh Bear's birthday month, too, if you must. I think chicks can pull off birthday month. I don't know if dudes can pull off birthday month, unless it's me. Pooh Bear's birthday is coming up fast, and I know what I'm getting her. It is influenced by one of our sweetest members in this chat, Sarah Rookrock Roosh. Sarah Rookrock Roosh has a device where you set it up in the yard, okay? And the birds come, and they land, and they enjoy the food, and then there's a camera there that takes pictures of the bird. And then it sends it like right to your phone. And then it like identifies the bird. And look, when you get old, that's a big deal. I like that shit. So this is going to be awesome. Okay? Occasionally we'll get like a hawk show up or a falcon. Not even kidding. In the same area where the bird feeder we have now is. Now, those birds kill the little ones and slaughter, like, all the goddamn chipmunks and the squirrels and the mice. But I am absolutely stoked about this this device where it'll shoot the goddamn video or the picture of the bird. That is so sweet. I love that stuff. So welcome to you. Thank you for being here. To the Eric Zane Show podcast. All of that happening in the last 24 hours. And still kind of feeling like shit. I tell you, I wake up and I'm like, okay, God, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm actually going to call in sick again. I'm just like, shut up. Drink your coffee. You'll be fine. Stand by. Oh, a lot of that going on. Whatever this crud is that I have is just kind of moving through, and I don't care for it. All right. Close to home. John Gibbs is the guy in our beautiful Ottawa County. It's just remarkable how the attitude has changed. And All right. Without going too far down the rabbit hole where I live, the folks in Ottawa County bring in this guy, John Gibbs, to help run the show. It's a hired position called the county administrator. They give him like north of $200,000 to do the job. Everybody's on the same page. They're all these freedom-fighting patriots, anti-COVID, anti-COVID vaccine, anti-mask, all this shit. Somewhere down the road, Gibbs fell out of favor. Excuse me. Rebecca says, drink hot tea with honey. Oh, believe me, I have been. They fired that guy yesterday, and now they're going to get sued. Audio check, video check.
By the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners. In their first meeting since reaching an agreement with the health officer, Adeline Hambley, the board has now voted to fire Administrator John Gibbs. It comes after Gibbs was put on leave last week when complaints about his behavior became known. News 8's Taylor Morris is live for us in Ottawa County tonight.
Now, to be clear, Gibbs suspected he was going to get fired for something, so he sent off a warning letter from his lawyer saying, yeah, you better not fire this guy or he's going to sue you. And then shortly thereafter, these jokers put together a list of things that he had done that they claim that are all conduct issues that can result in firing. He denies all that shit. Now he's fired.
With the very latest. Taylor?
Brian, the board decided to terminate Gibbs's contract in a 10-1 vote tonight. After the meeting, I had a chance to ask Commissioner Doug Zylstra, who voted not to terminate Gibbs, why that was his decision. He told me he believes the board needs to do more work.
God, that Rebecca Curran is so goddamn attractive.
To make sure they've done due process.
I love her hair. Holy shit, look at her. Too bad she's a wacko.
But prior to that vote, an additional meeting regarding Adeline Hambley took place and lasted about 10 minutes. Chairman Joe Moss acknowledged the resolution between the board and Hambley, solidifying that she will remain as Ottawa County's top health officer.
By the way, I watched a lot of that meeting yesterday, the public comment. God damn. There are some of those idiots that live in the community that just get up there and they just ramble on. This Harvey Nichols piece of shit. And this other fat fuck, bull haircut, suspender wearing fat fuck asshole. I think I called him fat fuck 3 times there. Oh, God, do those two drive me crazy.
In the meeting to fire Gibbs, Joe Moss motioned to terminate Gibbs for cause. Commissioner Allison...
Someone said that John Gibbs looks like the Stern character Beetlejuice.
Dima seconded that motion. It was also made clear by Moss that Gibbs was invited to tonight's meeting. However, he did not show up. The board also discussed the possibility of mediation, but ended up firing Gibbs. Now, when it comes to the complaints made against Gibbs last Friday, Moss disclosed a letter outlining a number of complaints against the county administrator. The letter states Gibbs made threats against County Attorney Jack Jordan, as well as derogatory comments with both sexual and religious connotations toward Commissioner Gretchen Cosby. It also states he created a hostile workplace environment for his employees. And on Tuesday, Gibbs's attorney sent us a response to the allegations, roundly rejecting them.
I move to terminate Mr. Gibbs' contract for cause. Because the board has determined that Mr. Gibbs, in connection with the performance of his duties under the employment agreement, has been dishonest, committed gross misconduct, and/or committed willful malfeasance.
Another thing that Moss made clear tonight during the meeting was that Gibbs's job will be posted immediately. Live in Olive Township, Taylor Morris, News 8.
Okay, so since they took over, first they tried to fire Hambley. Then they offered her $4 million to leave, which they didn't have to pay. Then they ended up coming to an agreement to keep her on. They voted unanimously on that. They brought Gibbs in. Now they fire Gibbs. And what I want to know is, are they now going to get sued? To bring up all things Ottawa County, Whenever you talk about all things Ottawa County, you have to bring in Joe Spalding.
Eric Zane.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I am doing terrific. I'm feeling pretty good. What's going on?
So these wackos are like eating their own, it seems like.
I mean, yeah, that's one of the ways that you can put it. Circular firing squad. They're having a total nuclear meltdown. It's worse than Chernobyl's another way to put it.
Do you think that they've opened up a lawsuit by firing Gibbs?
I think the way that they did it definitely raises some serious questions. And I think, as usual, if you look at what Doug Zylstra is saying, it's usually pretty quiet and reserved, but it's usually pretty correct. And what Gibbs' attorney is accusing is that Joe Moss didn't have any of these reasons to fire him until he collected them after he decided he was going to fire him. And that's kind of even more confirmed by the fact that they're just kind of airing that all out in the open. And I don't know what the specifics of the law are, but I think that as much as I don't like the guy, John Gibbs is entitled to due process. And that kind of went out the window. And it's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird seeing Joe Moss just decide that, oh, this happened in closed session, but I'm going to be all public about it. But their lawyer is just putting an iron, lock on whatever happened in the closed session when they were discussing the $4 million that they wanted to pay Adeline Hambly to quit.
My God. Did you do a live stream last night?
So last night I streamed the meetings. They turned the comments off on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I think that deprives a lot of people of their ability and like something that they've grown accustomed to. And I think that the way the Open Meetings Act and the way the First Amendment are written, that like when we have this ability, this avenue to speak publicly and the government decides to turn it off or take it away, that's an impediment of our First Amendment rights. That's how I feel about it. But, second to that, if they're not going to allow comments, I can stream that content no problem and let people comment underneath there.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yeah. So can they get in trouble for not allowing those comments? Is that a violation or is it like kind of a gray area?
I'm positive that nothing like that has been tested in court. The streaming of these local meetings is something that very few places did. I know Ann Arbor did it for a while, but until COVID. And then they did it out of necessity. And some communities continue to do it and some don't. But, if they did decide to stop streaming altogether, I just make sure I sat in there with a camera and live streamed it. It's not, it takes more time for me, but there's no limit to the amount I'm willing to dedicate to making sure we remove these people from office. And that requires us seeing what they're doing.
In your time, since you started, you became known as this has all percolated for the past 15 months or whatever. Have you noticed anybody like almost like a private detective keeping an eye on you? Or has there ever been anything suspicious that's gone on in your life?
I don't know if I've been tailed or anything.
Yeah.
I know one time I was blasting George Michael out of my mom's Volkswagen Beetle that I was borrowing to go to a Jenison school board meeting to annoy the former chair of the GOP who was standing in the parking lot in a circle because his buddy flipped me the bird when I was walking out of the meeting. And I got home. It was fine. A couple of days later, the sheriff was knocking on my door while I was playing Call of Duty. And so I finished the match of Call of Duty, not the sheriff, but the deputy or whoever.
Yeah.
And he was about to take off. And he insisted that I, call down to the sheriff's department. I guess that John DeBlay guy had called the sheriff and said that I was, threatening him from my car with my George Michael music very loudly. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm not really inclined to go talk to you guys about that. That's
right.
pretty dumb and stupid. So I'm not. And then, he and I walked past each other at the next meeting. There's no problem between us. And then what happened was I mentioned it at a board meeting and I said, we could open up alternative theories to why these charges, those accusations were being made, and that might mean that there's discovery involved with all the board members, and they shut the shit down.
Right.
So that was like actually the first indication that I got that they don't want you seeing their emails from around the time they took office at all. And that kind of was further cemented in the Hambly hearing. So, like, I don't know what they're hiding, and they've got all sorts of nefarious crap that they've done out in the open, but there's got to be worse stuff that they have that's still private.
With this deal with Gibbs, now there's potential that more money could be flying out the window on a potential lawsuit, and that comes out of taxpayers' pockets, correct?
Yeah. If we lose the lawsuit, the county loses the lawsuit, which, I don't have any reason to believe that Gibbs was wrong about Coleman Legal Group being really, really bad at their jobs. That's more money. That's a lot. And it's probably a lot more money because, stakes are pretty high there. And I think that, like, when Gibbs' lawyer comes in talking about, he'll retire if you give him 640 or you give him 400,000. Like, I think part of that was like, we're going to see what Joe Moss does, because I think he's going to overreact, and then you're going to have a case. And that's going to be the baseline then. So, like, yeah, I'm guessing like 4X that 6. I think like $2 million is probably on the line, as crazy as that sounds.
There was also the news that the judge did, in fact, say that $4 million would have flown out the window to Adeline Hambly because of the conversations and the proof that was acknowledged from the earlier discussions. But I forgot how they worded it, why that wouldn't be awarded. Do you remember how they worded that?
Yeah, so what happened was, like, Joe Moss, they all came out of that really long closed session, and they voted to continue counsel's recommendation of pursuing a settlement. And there's almost no doubt, like no sane doubt, that they decided that they were going to pay her $4 million to resign. But that resolution that they made was so ambiguously worded because their mentality at the time was they didn't want a bigger media fiasco than it already was. And they thought that the way to do that was to be like really quick and really coy and make that motion, say continue that resolution, and then go on from there and make everybody wonder what that resolution is. But we know it was $4 million. Right. It's just the judge said that wasn't a specific enough motion after that closed session to bind that resolution.
I mean, like, if it had been in writing, it might she may have had an easier time getting that money, because Hambly was like, all right, if you want to give me $4 million, give me $4 million.
So like in those negotiations, they do things, verbally, because that's how you do things quickly. And then the lawyers put it out in writing, but like those details were already set.
Right.
Yeah. So if it was in writing, like they were in the process of putting it in writing when the county realized that they couldn't do what they promised they could do.
I have a friend who knows Moss personally. I think they go to the same church, and he's, he's right wing, but him and I get along, even though he's a ding dong. And he even said, yeah, we're sick of him. Enough is enough. And I think that he is representative. He is the representative of the person that you want to vote them out. The ones that rushed to their support during the COVID shit. Nobody cares anymore. They just want people that are a little bit more closer to the pack. Who they just want normal Republicans. That's all they want now.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want folks that are responsible with tax dollars. And I mean, I got two things on that. And I think that a lot of the crazier side of the Donald Trump stories, I think a lot of the incompetence stuff mirrors a lot of what we see in Ottawa County. And that makes sense because John Gibbs, worked for Trump. And if you look at the primary vote, Donald Trump did worse in Ottawa County than he did statewide. And that's just like completely upside down for what a Republican normally does. And people are looking for a way out of that, like unabashed belligerent. It's not conservatism, but it's right wing politics. And then so I think that That's right. And the other thing that kind of reminds me of when you talk about knowing someone that goes to a church, when we were running the petition to recall Lucy Ebel, we were standing out in the parking lot in front of actually the exercise place where Lucy Ebel coaches class like twice a week. Which,
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's very athletic.
Sure, whatever. But like some guy stopped by in a lifted truck, and he came out and he's like, well, I can't sign your petition, but I got to tell you that I went to high school with Joe Moss. And that guy was just like the creepiest kind of weird, like, but the entire time back then. And I'm like, well, that's like really good information. But like, it's like that. And, that tells me that like, maybe like that person isn't going to like show up and vote for like a Democrat in Allendale or whatever. But like, they're not going to vote for an Ottawa Impact Republican again. They see the damage that they've done. And between that and the numbers on Trump, I'm like, there's definitely a feeling here that like there needs to be a readjustment, at least within the Republican Party. And I think, greater politics countywide. But
do you think that Trump is going to win the general election?
I don't know because I haven't done any electoral math on it. I can tell you that that does worry me. I think that would be bad for the stability in our country. I think that we already juiced all the jokes that we can get out of him from the first time that he ran for office. So for comedy, it's like marginal increase for no net benefit. But I haven't done the electoral math. I think that I'm pretty sure Trump loses in Michigan based on the numbers in the primary. There's no enthusiasm.
Wow, I didn't. Nobody's covered that the primary. It was just basically that was kind of not talked about how he actually did. I don't know. There's a lot that could be going on here because Trump has been so dominant that a lot of people may not have come out to vote.
Well, Michigan is the state where the press is able to speak about the Israel-Palestine situation as an electoral issue. So that's what covers the news cycle when we have a primary here, and Biden's on the ballot. And that's what was in the news cycle. And what did we see? We saw the movement for that undeclared get like 13% statewide. So it's not like it was super significant event. But like when I'm looking at the numbers and I'm seeing like Joe Biden get more votes than Donald Trump, not just in Wayne County, but like Oakland County, Oakland County, Kalamazoo County, Ingham County, like that, like the top 15 counties by population of the state, Joe Biden got more votes than Donald Trump if you add all the numbers up.
Okay. Anything else that we need to touch on? I think I do want to mention that in last week's meeting, I saw you were in front of the board and you called them assholes. Is that a first? Have you called them assholes to their face before?
I don't think I've used assholes. Like that one is kind of like I try to use that when I feel like they might feel like they own that a little bit, and that was like right after I told them I told you so, and right after I said that the GOP is like essentially kicking them and Karamo out, and that's kind of racist and sexist, probably, but they can't say that because they think that racism and sexism are like unicorns. They don't exist.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. And finally, there's two guys that are regulars at those meetings. Who's the giant with the bull haircut and the suspenders? And he's the old guy. He leans on the podium.
Driveway Dave.
That's
Driveway
the guy.
Dave?
Yes, that's the guy. He always speaks twice, that fucker. He's always going way deep on the religion and talking about his sins and shit like that. He was up to the same old goddamn thing yesterday.
Yeah, Driveway Dave is a very interesting character. Like every other one of his speeches are just like so generic that they could apply to any council meeting anywhere in the country.
Yes.
And then like he originally got on board, he thought that this board was his ticket to getting a driveway easement, which is why we call him Driveway Dave.
Okay.
Because the last board wouldn't help him with his driveway easement. He got really mad. He used to be a Allendale Township trustee.
God damn. He reminds me of the guy who tells you beef, it's what's for dinner or whatever. He's just kind of like this aw shucks, ho-hum type of guy. And then there's Harvey Nickel.
Harvey Nickel.
Oh, God damn. He's still talking about pandemic shit.
And that's like, and I kind of want to, like, I don't want to interrupt someone when they're being a complete fool, but like, he is a constant reminder that like that mentality, everything that they have to offer is, as good as sticking us all back in 2020. It is a new lockdown in a weird way.
Wow.
And that's what they want. They want to be in this bubble of grievance and vengeance politics where they can just be mad at a generic enemy. It's really weird.
Yep. My God. All right, I got a comment from one of my audience members who loves Trump. She writes, just because he's an asshole doesn't mean he was not a good president. He did good things. Do you agree that Donald Trump did good things, Joe Spalding?
I mean, like, I struggle to remember any specific ones, and what they just said, say that about like, you could hear anyone say that about Barack Obama to your Trump supporting friend, right? Like, you can think he's an asshole, but I think he did some good things. But like with Donald Trump, I know for a fact that he botched the COVID response. I have family members that died from that. Just recently, we have this college student that the right-wingers were just screaming about getting murdered by a Venezuelan, immigrant. And he's, undocumented immigrant, came across the border illegally. The thing is, on his way out the door, Donald Trump said that Venezuelans aren't getting deported from our country anymore. And that got broadcasted across Venezuela. And so all the Venezuelans thought they had an open invitation to come here. And, that girl's death is on Donald Trump's hands. So, like, even on the issues that the right-wingers and that Donald Trump fans care about, like, they refuse to hold him accountable for the damage that he's done there.
Well, I think,
so,
and the big hitters trying to steal the election, all the lies, all that bullshit, all of the January 6th stuff that he caused, he did. I mean, literally blood on his hands.
Well, Eric Zane, let me say, there was one good thing I can remember he did now that I'm thinking about it. Donald Trump banned bump stocks. And that was after the worst massacre in the history of the United States in Las Vegas, where a guy, he was raining down 1,000 rounds a minute. It was just coming down. So that was good when he banned bump stocks.
Cole writes, the fuck it is anything Biden's fault. Do you think that there's anything Joe Biden's done that's glaring? I would say yes, there's plenty, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that he's being slightly too cautious on pushing back on Netanyahu publicly on Israel-Palestine. Like, that's super not great. I think that the Biden administration made a calculated choice not to pursue prosecuting Donald Trump for crimes they knew he did off the bat for like a year and a half or 2 years. Those were critical mistakes for our country that Joe Biden should own and answer for.
Cole, he writes, banning bump stocks did nothing. And I don't think there's any way to quantify that it did nothing. I mean, you have that is a way to make a weapon that is not automatic, extremely automatic. So, I mean, unless there's some way of getting in the head of a mass shooter said, yeah, this has been a lot worse if I had a bump stock. There's really no way to tell. So.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I don't want to have the data to find that out. Like, I just want the mass shootings to stop.
Right.
And so from my perspective, yeah, like, I'm going to be grateful that Donald Trump did that. And our guy online there can, be upset about it. That's fine.
Ryan writes, I mean, pretty sure that Trump was good with the mob lynching his vice president. Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
God,
I told Mike Pence he sucks balls, but I didn't want to put him on a gallows.
No, you didn't want to murder the guy. Joe Spalding, it's always wonderful talking politics, both local and national, with you. You're easy to talk to and quite fun. What are you doing today? You doing anything fun? I mean, do you ever have time to relax?
Yeah, the woman I'm seeing, she's got a kid who's turning 11. We're throwing a little birthday celebration. She likes to kick my ass in Tekken. So
Tekken, that's the old school video game.
Yeah, they got the new one out. It's Tekken 8. It's a lot faster, and I'm a lot slower. So it's like I'm starting to, feel the wrath of the L's there. They stack up.
Hey, someone suggested that I get Trump on the phone. Do you want to talk to Trump?
Do I want to talk to Trump? I'm not really. I have no really desire to do that.
Have you ever heard my Trump?
I haven't heard your Trump.
If I got Trump on, would you talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay, stand
probably.
by. Stand by. Stand by. I'm going to get Trump on right now. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to call him, and then you can ask him whatever you want. You're going to love this if you haven't already heard it. Okay, you just be quiet. I should say it's going to go quiet for a second. I'll bring him in here.
Good morning, Big Fraud. This is your favorite president.
Yes. Hello, Mr. President. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. What do I owe the pleasure of this call this morning?
I have a great friend of mine who has. I just said, hey, it's time to talk to Trump. So I'd like to introduce you to Joe Spalding, Mr. President.
Oh, is this one of my wonderful supporters, Joe Spalding? Is that who this is?
Joe?
I'm just a voter in Michigan, Mr. Trump. There.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tremendous. You're one of our great patriots, aren't you, Joe?
The absolute greatest.
Mr. President, we were just talking about your old pal John Gibbs. Just got
John
fired.
Gibbs, yes. I heard this. It's terrible what they've done to him. I think he was really going to do great things for that little county over there. Terrible, actually, what they've done to him. But, he's not that great of a guy. I found out that he's not that great of a guy, this John Gibbs. Not that great.
Really? How come? I don't understand.
Well, you see, he's quite large, I think. I think he's quite fat. I think he's very large. And he wanted a lot of money or something. I don't know. They're telling me he's not that great of a guy. He might have not done good things. I don't know.
Joe?
Are we going to make the GOP skinny again?
I didn't understand a word what that shithead just said. I don't know what he said. What did he say? Would he say something about something?
I'm sorry, Joe. Joe. Say that again, please.
I said, are we going to make the Republican Party skinny again, Mr. Trump?
Well, I think we could do a lot to the rhinos that are sitting in the Republican Party. I mean, they're so unloyal, actually, if you think about it, Joe. A lot of these rhinos, they're terrible. They're terrible for the Republican Party. They need to go away. They need to go away so fast. It was great that Senator McConnell finally said that he's out. I think he said he's out. He's out, totally out, which is a good thing. I think they need to get him the hell out of there. He's malfunctioning half the time. He's like a little robot or something. We don't know.
Would you say that most of the rhinos in the Republican Party right now are white rhinos or black rhinos?
Well, I think they can be anything. I don't know. I think it doesn't really matter because they're clearly very rhinos. They're rhinos and they're not that great. I think if you think about it, the Constitution could use a lot of adjustments. I think we could probably suspend it entirely. If you think about it,
suspend the Constitution sounds like you're like becoming a dictator, sir.
You've said this before, Big Frog, but what I think we have to do, I think we have to suspend the Constitution, totally suspend it, and maybe come up with a new one. I mean, it was written so long ago. I think it's not applicable to certain scenarios anymore. Like I should be totally immune to anything because I'm a presidential candidate.
Joe?
I don't think you're that far off. I think we should suspend the Constitution above a ladder in Madison Square Garden. Have you and Joe Biden go at it?
Kind of like
Joe Biden. It would be hilarious, by the way, because we all know he couldn't even get over into the ring. He probably would fall apart. I mean, have you seen this guy try to get up into the airplane? He's tripping. He's falling all over the place. He can't keep his eyes open. I don't even know if he has eyeballs. Let's be so honest.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible. It's terrible what they've done to this poor little innocent old man.
Yes. Well, I must say, even though you two are pretty close in age, he seems like he's like 5 decades older than you. I have to admit.
Clearly. I mean, I'm probably if you think about it, I'm the epicenter of fitness and health. If you think about it, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, I'm probably decades in terms of my health, more healthier than him. I think my doctors say so much healthier. I'm so smart and intelligent as well. You wouldn't believe how intelligent I am.
Is that the same doctor that you had back when you were in the Oval Office there with the interesting haircut?
Oh yes, he's great. He's great. He's one of our great military members. He's a great doctor. Listen, the thing is, you have to remember the economy under me was booming. Inflation under Joe Biden and these crooked Democrats is terrible. I mean, in Russia, Joe Spalding, over in Russia, they got groceries. You could afford groceries much better over in Russia. And inflation here in the United States is terrible what they've done. I mean, you're probably a fat guy if you're living in Ottawa County, so you probably go to the grocery store, and you're probably spending what, $200-$300 now. It used to be maybe $50 to $100. I mean, it's terrible what Joe Biden has done.
Yeah.
And we can fix the economy so quickly, Joe. We need people like you to help vote for Donald Trump, and we can fix the economy. I'm America's favorite president, I think. Maybe more popular than Abraham Lincoln.
I don't think that Joe Spalding is going to support you, sir.
I think he would support a winner. He would probably support a winner because we know Joe Biden is a total loser. I could convert any one of your stupid fans into Trump supporters if you think about it.
It's tough because we're both Easy and I are huge lifelong Lions fans. So the whole winner loser thing, it lost its impact a decade and a half ago.
Sir,
I don't know what the hell you're talking about because the Lions are clearly losers. They lost so big this year. They're probably the biggest losers, actually, if you think about it. Total losers. Not that great. Not that great of an organization.
Sir, I appreciate it. I got to let you go. Sir? Oh, I think he hung up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He just hangs
that
up.
Was awesome.
Yeah, he's it's always good to have the president on speed dial,
Yeah, he's like Batman. He just kind of disappears without you noticing.
But he does it all. He just hangs up. But usually he calls me a nasty name.
Oh.
All right, Joe, I appreciate you as always. Give my best to the people in your life that are close to you, even though I don't know them. And till the next day, till the next episode.
Oh, yeah. Call anytime, Easy. It's been great.
All right,
Thank you
buddy.
so much.
Yep, see it. There you go. Joe Spalding. Kenny says this is the first good three-way call. We've had three-way calls before is all. I think this is Trump's first, however. All right. Amanda getting all sorts of heat about her Trump was a great president thing. I don't even have to say anything. Everybody's beating the shit out of her. And then she drops hey, trust me, there are presidents that were way worse than Trump. Yeah, I don't know about any who tried to overturn the election. That's weird. Let's start there. Give me one president who tried to overturn the election. You idiot, dumbass, fucking supersized twat. What the fuck is wrong with you? God damn. All sorts of attacks. Tyler says, careful, big fraud, Zane. Your voice is not in shape to do Amanda impression. I like how people like Amanda just say, oh, yeah, he was great. Hey, facts don't care about your feelings. What facts? There are no facts. All you've said was, oh, yeah, trust me, there were worse. What the fuck? What an idiot. Well, that might be the dumbest thing you've said. We all know that Amanda loves the president that wants to kill all gay people. That's horrible. Megan says, from my perspective, my family, friends, we all had extra money because the government was giving us free money. We were all of a sudden getting breakfast, lunches from school for the kids. Our gas consumption plummeted because of the WFH situations, I don't know what that means. We didn't need to purchase clothes for work, kids, sports stops, so that saved money. I'm just saying the amount of extra money we had contributed to the booming economy, not fighting. Just showing a middle-class perspective. Amanda says, I also love Ben Shapiro because he's smarter than all of us. Yeah, I have never heard Ben Shapiro, but I don't dare listen to anybody like that. I try to avoid people that influence huge swaths of one side or the other. I don't do that. I don't pay attention to those people. You know why? Because I'm susceptible. I know my limits. I'm susceptible to that type of influence. So if I listen to somebody who seems to have an easy job saying the same talking points and everybody else has and makes a convincing argument based on the fluidity of their language and their speaking patterns and shit like that, I avoid that because I'm susceptible to that. And I might actually start to think like whomever. And I don't want to think like anybody. I want to think like me. Now, you, who's an idiot, that sounds like something that you were influenced by. And now everything he says, you just regurgitate to the other morons who would listen to you. Okay? So I don't, to me, when I see anybody, like if any of you were to walk around saying, yeah, man, I listen to that Eric Zane and I believe him because I'd cringe. I'd be like, yeah, you got to stop that shit. Okay. It's entertainment. Don't ever think anything more of it than that. And that's what all of these other, don't think for a second that the Ben Shapiros of the world or the whoever's of the world are anything more than just entertainment. Hurricane Ashley says, you love Ben Shapiro and Matt Rife. LMAAAAAO. Ben writes, and both are hacks. WFH equals working from home. Hurricane Ashley, Ben Shapiro, who admits that out loud? Amanda says he spits facts. No, they go into your ears and into your brain, and it doesn't matter what they are. They're going to be facts to you. Okay? I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I've never actually listened and don't have any intention to. Ashley writes, Google Shapiro debunked. Patrick says, it's kind of like how Roman Reigns was influenced by The Rock and tried to steal Cody Rhodes' WrestleMania moment. Unbelievable. If you say so. CJINMI writes, people get programmed by constantly repeating the same talking points over and over and over. Ever listen to Hannity over and over and over? Yes, that's what I was getting at. And when you are around someone who has either just as a regular person heard the same things, they actually become quite articulate at repeating those things. And they sound like they know what they're talking about because they've heard it so many times. They got it down, you know? Which is why I don't do that. I don't pay attention to anybody. When I'm on with Christian Blatt, they say, hey, what do you think of Shane Gillis? I go, who the fuck is Shane Gillis? I don't know who these people are. I don't pay attention to any of them. I don't want any of their influence on me because I know how I am. I'm kind of like a Mark. I know my limits. I could sit and watch that goddamn loose change video, which I think somehow spins some tale that airplanes did not fly into buildings or some shit, or how 9/11 was an inside job. If I watch that fucking shit, I'm going to finish it, and then be like, oh my God, can you believe it? There was no airplanes. It was all a goddamn fiction. That's me. So I stay away from anything like that. I can't do it. So all I can do is attack people who I think are full of shit. And right now, that's Amanda. Amanda's going out on a limb to say, yeah, I listen to Ben Shapiro. He spits facts, and Trump was a great president. You know, I don't believe any of that. I believe Trump was a shitty president. Okay? Even if he did do great things, as you say. I think you look at his body of work, horrible things happened under his watch, and I can't stand by and let that, I can't with a clear conscience support that. There was a time when I did, and I was like, wait a minute, but this is getting a little bit too off the rails here. Okay, hold on a second. Let me rethink this. Okay, fuck that guy. Cole says Ben Shapiro, the rapper. He says, you got to see the Ben Shapiro rap verse that he did with Cornball Tom McDonald. So damn cringe. I did see it. Amanda sent it to me, and she loved it. Okay? Nate writes, Trump was not a great president. He was the greatest president. Oh, my God. You are such a dipshit. Linda says, Amanda probably believes the election was stolen. Brian says, 55 viewers easy. Woot! Yeah, we've been slowly but surely inching our way forward. I think that's the who are these broadcasters bump. Maybe. I don't know. I want to play... Actually, you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. I still haven't done even one sponsor on this show, and I have to call my pal Rick from TC Paintball. Before we get to that, though, for you folks that are watching the show on Facebook, X, and YouTube, have a great day. I'm going to send you on your way. If you want the full show, it's available on Twitch. Download the Twitch app and then search Eric Zane Live, or go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live on your desktop or laptop. Download the audio podcast wherever you download shows. Send me an email in the Shoreliners Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. We've got Patreon going on this weekend, a Big Fraud Sunday. You can join us for free. Just go to patreon.com/Eric Zane. The big news on Patreon is the appearance and then disappearance of Bleeding Heart Braden, who was, he came in like a house of fire when he showed up in early January. Love the show. It's so funny. Finally glad to be done with Free Beer and Hot Wings. And then he fired me and quit the Patreon because I supported Israel. And he thinks that I support genocide. He's fucking crazy. And I'm like, oh, okay. You think I support genocide? Well, I got this for you. You hate Jews. Braden says all Jews must die. That's awful. Well, anyway, go fuck yourself. Patreon.com/Eric Zane.